Imagine a world where police officers can hide their identities while making arrests, operating in complete anonymity. Sounds dramatic? That's what's fueling heated debate in California right now. California has just enacted a groundbreaking law that prohibits law enforcement from wearing masks while on duty, unless they're involved in riot control, undercover assignments, or need masks for health reasons. Governor Gavin Newsom, who signed this unprecedented bill, claims it's the first of its kind in the nation. Newsom, a Democrat and frequent critic of Donald Trump, argues that allowing mask detentions without accountability or oversight is the mark of increasing authoritarianism. In his words, that's Trump's America. This move, according to Newsom, is intended to push back against what he sees as a dangerous new practice designed to intimidate California's richly diverse communities. Dubbed the No Secret Police Act, this legislation comes as a direct response to the surge in immigration raids, particularly in cities like Los Angeles. These raids have stirred widespread concern, especially after scenes of masked federal agents detaining people in public, often without identification or agency badges, flashed across the news. Such images have sparked protests against U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, operations in the city. But here's where the controversy deepens. How much authority does California actually have over federal law enforcement? This question could ultimately be decided in court. According to Raquel Aldana, a law professor at UC Davis, this law highlights a tug-of-war between state and federal power. States can certainly outlaw extreme behaviors like murder or torture by federal agents within their boundaries. But where does the limit lie? California seems to be drawing a new line here, asserting its right to set boundaries on federal actions within its jurisdiction. And this is the part most people miss. This law could rekindle debates over state sovereignty versus federal power and set the stage for legal battles elsewhere. Currently, states like New York and Massachusetts are considering similar measures. ICE, when approached for comment, generally claims that agents wear masks for their own safety, to protect themselves and their families from threats after being identified in online videos. Yet, this rationale has not eased public concern, especially among immigrant communities. Alongside the mask ban, Newsom put his signature on several other reform-minded bills. These include requiring officers to visibly display their names or badge numbers while working, obligating schools to alert parents and staff when immigration enforcement visits campus, and prohibiting schools or healthcare centers from allowing ICE on their premises without a valid warrant. However, there's a potential loophole. As Professor Aldana points out, the new law doesn't directly apply to federal agencies, which could limit its legal bite. Yet, it does regulate local police and sheriff's departments, requiring them to craft compliant mask policies by July 2026. Not everyone welcomes this law. Several groups that represent California law enforcement agencies, such as the State Sheriff's Association, denounce the bill as reckless and a risk to officers' safety. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, who's running for governor, even accused Newsom and his supporters of prioritizing criminals' welfare over police, going so far as to say, "Anyone that votes for those people are absolute idiots." That's a statement likely to split public opinion sharply. The California Peace Officers Research Association, the state's largest law enforcement organization, also firmly opposed the law. On the flip side, immigrant advocates like Giselle Garcia of NorCal Resist believe this law could be a vital tool, even if there are difficulties in enforcing it. Garcia argues that codifying such rules gives activists and lawyers a legal foothold to challenge possible federal abuses. Garcia's organization has even reported incidents where ICE agents, wearing masks and refusing to identify themselves, have harassed immigration court observers. So, should law enforcement ever be allowed to hide their faces during operations, or does this cross a line into state-sanctioned secrecy? Is personal safety for officers a good reason for mask use, or is the public's right to transparency more important? What's your take? Does this new law go too far or not far enough? Sound off in the comments and let's debate where accountability truly lies.